after another. And after two presentation, we will have Q&A sessions, question answer session, interactive session. Till then, you patiently wait and then listen to them carefully. And once again, I welcome all the participants from all over the country. Roughly, there are 111 participants so far have come into Google Meet. Welcome to the webinar series number 11 today. Department of Visual Communication, Media Arts and BMM Animation of Loyola College, Chennai, is organizing a series of webinars, as you all of you know. And today we have 11th webinar. Today's topic is fake news during the COVID-19 lockdown, strategies and digital tools to tackle misinformation and disinformation. As all of you know that during the COVID-19 lockdown, there were a lot of fake news were spread, and people were confused what to believe and what not to believe. Inflow of news and information through mainstream mass media as well as social media. Almost we are bombarded with a lot of news, fake news, true news, reliable news, unreliable news, and so on about the COVID-19 virus, its testing, treatment, and a whole lot of things. And also in the wake of COVID-19 lockdown, there were many issues related. Issues related to women facing domestic violence, children facing domestic violence, migrant workers making an exodus from southern to their own home states. They were making a long journey, facing a lot of problems, human rights problems, basic necessities problem, and so on. Now, today we will discuss more on what is the kind of fake news we had and how to tackle the fake news and what are the strategies, digital tools to address misinformation and disinformation. Before we begin session, we try to play one prayer song so that it goes well. I'm trying today in first time. Just a few minutes. Jake is gone. Do you get?
Sorry, sir.
Do you get the song?
No, sir. We can't hear it, sir.
Once again.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I just introduce you, then you will start.
Yeah.
Um, Jaikis Khan is working now in at Don Bosco University, Assam. Um, Basically, he is hailing from Tamil Nadu, and he has done his BSc Electronic Media in Madras University. He stood as a gold medalist, MA Mass Communication and Journalism from Madurai Kamaraj University, MA Film and Media Production um, in Hallam University, Sheffield. He had a lot of work experience also as a production executive, uh, First Expression Studios, Chennai, and also he also worked in AMN TV, a division of Daily Tandi Groups, Chennai. Also worked as administrative officer and teacher in RKN Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Chengalpet. Also, he has worked as assistant professor, Department of Visual Communication, Alpha Arts and Science College, Chennai. Department of Visual Communication, SRM University, Chennai. Nilal Padiyum Film Academy, Chennai. And so he has so much of field experience in film production as well as in TV, television production, and so on. Now, presently, he is working in the Department of Mass Communication, Assam, Don Bosco University, Guwahati. Also, he is working for Google company. He is mainly a trainer for Google company, and he is appointed by Google. So, such a vast experience he had both in the field as well as academic house. And he is giving a lot of training to various college students, research scholars on the upcoming fake news and how we can fight fake news and how we can control, uh, tackle fake news in this modern reality. So, and the next speaker also I will introduce, um, Monjib, also from same university. He has also worked in different newspapers as associate editor, chief bureau of news bureau, Northeast business reporter, um, business Northeast. Also, he has worked as associate editor, and he has also worked as assistant professor, Center for Studies in Journalism, Mass Communication, Diboranga University. Um, Now he is also one of the trainers of Google News Initiative India Training Network. And presently, he is working as one of the assistant professors in Assam Don Bosco University. Both the speakers have a lot of interest in journalism, new media theories, community media, media research, creative writing, and so on. So today, let's listen to them and let's have a very meaningful session. After the presentation, we will have question answer session. Now I hand over the webinar session to Jai Khan from Assam. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such an great introduction about us. Okay, it's very good. So, good afternoon, everyone. I can see like there are more than 100 plus participants are here. Um, so, as sir was mentioning who we are, I hope you can see my screen. Uh, okay. Sir, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Once
Uh,
again, those who want to see the PPT, please pin it. Pin the PPT of Jai Khan. Then you can follow the presentation. Okay, go ahead.
So, as sir was mentioning, myself and my colleague Mr. Manju Moshari, we belong or we represent Google News Initiative and data leads. So, the main agenda behind or main motto behind the company is that like to create a world without misinformation and disinformation. So as you can see my slides, like there are quite a few number of partners with Google News Initiative. So as the slide goes on, I will give a brief introduction about my organization. So this is Google News Initiative India Training Network, and the company also have partners with Internews, First Draft, Storyful, Alt News, and Data Leads, obviously. So all these people come together in combating against fake news and to create an awareness about fact checking and how important it is. So in today's session, what you will be basically learning. First thing you'll be learning identifying fake news. So without knowing what is fake news, you can't go to the next step. You can't. There is no point in learning what are the technicalities in how to find fake news. So first you will have to learn what is fake news, and you will also learn about types of misinformation and disinformation, which will be a really interesting segment. And you will also learn some photo verification tools, video verification tools, and social audit tools from my colleague. So Google News Initiative. So who we are. So Google's effort to work with the news industry to help journalism thrive in the digital age. So as you all can see, many of us, we don't read newspapers anymore. We just see notification on the mobile phone, and then we just look at it and we go on to the next thing. So the main mission behind Google is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So we have so much of information around us, like we can't even get enough. So we have so much of information, but how to make it accessible and useful, that the main motto behind Google. So what we are doing? So we as journalists, we did the same thing long before Google existed. Okay, we did good old-fashioned journalism. We did good old-fashioned reporting before the internet. Okay, so now why Google News Initiative is being a part with journalists to create a more informed world, which will take journalists and technology hand in hand. So without technology, journalists can't survive, and without journalists, technology can't survive. So I am talking in aspect of media and new media. So this is a very powerful and very uh, apt statement for this particular moment, because without technology we will be nowhere. So yeah. Google's news initiative and effort to bring in stronger future for journalism. As you can see, there are a good number of Google products, and you might see quite a few number of products of Google and the partners with Google and the programs by Google. So there are quite a few things going on, and more things are coming up as well to create a stronger journalism future. Uh, as you can see, Google News Lab here, it says Google News Lab is a team working with journalists and entrepreneurs around the world to drive innovation in the news industry. So to drive innovation, so how to drive innovation? So when my colleague will be talking about how the tools will help you in finding out uh, fake news, or in finding out the misinformation, in finding out the disinformation, how this to drive innovation, how it plays a key role in tech. You will be learning that when my colleague speaks. So we in India, we had more than 7.5 thousand journalists trained on fake news and fact checking, and we had conducted more than 180 plus workshops in 30 plus cities. So I think that's pretty much the introduction part. What I wanted to say about my organization and where we represent. Okay, Google News Initiative and Data Leads. So as you can see, the PPT right now, it says India Today. Okay, so it's not talking about India Today, the media house. It's talking about India in this current scenario. So we have basically more than 70,000 plus newspapers, and we have more than 100 million copies are selling every single day. Okay, and if you can see on the right hand side of the screen, it says we have more than 690 plus satellite channels and 80 plus news channels are there. So this is just an overall statistics just for your information. So what to do with this information, we will see in the coming slides. First, as you can see, here digital media, uh, what are the statistics we are having right now? So we are having, so we don't have any more regular classes. We are doing online classes, and we are having quite a few number of webinars and online workshops and other stuffs. It all happened just because of how internet savvy we are. Like almost like whoever is listening to me right now, you will all be in Facebook, you will all be in WhatsApp, you will all be in Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever it is. Okay, so as you can see, we have 480 plus million internet users in 2014. From 2014, we have more than 200 million internet users. Right now, I think we will be reaching 500 plus, and 530 million smartphone users are there in 2018. Okay, and if you can see right now in India, we have more than 280 million Facebook users and more than 200 million WhatsApp users as of 2017. So this is a big number. If you see 500 million, it's not like any small figure. It's a really big figure. So what are the major trends? What is happening over the years? If you compare ourselves within like before 15 years and right now, if you see the major trends, what is happening? What is actually happening? So newsrooms using new ways to deliver information. That is why I started my session with saying we don't read newspapers anymore. We get notifications in our mobile phones, so we just like skim them and then we just move on with our other things. So the way the news gets delivered, it is evolving. The second, internet traffic driven by mobile internet users. So the major traffic, internet traffic, is decided by mobile internet users. So many of you participants who are right now, I'm guessing you will all be, many of you will be using mobile phones instead of laptop for the session. The third one, digital media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp, enablers of conversation, but issue of misinformation, which is a challenge. So this is what we're going to talk about in detail. So even though Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, or Snapchat, or whatever platform it may be, they are good enablers of conversation, but it is an issue of misinformation. So how this issue of misinformation can be tackled. So we will be seeing over the slides. The next thing, audio and video leading online traffic generators. So you can also take YouTube as one of the best example for this particular trend, which is happening right now. Okay. Now, what are the challenges we face as fact checkers, as journalists, as media educators? What are the challenges we are facing? First, fighting fake news itself is a big challenge, because if you wake up every single day over your phone, whether be it like many of us, like as soon as we wake up, we go to Instagram and then we scroll through the timeline, okay, and we get contents there. We get contents as memes. Mostly memes are being shared, and then we tend to somehow fall into prey. So fighting fake news itself is a big challenge. The second point, fact checking, news literacy or media literacy, or any transparency initiatives needed to stem the tide of misinformation and low trust. That is also an huge challenge, okay, because like many of us, we don't know who to believe. We don't know which media to look at. We don't know which newspaper to read. We don't know which uh, TV channel to look at. Okay. The third one, changing regulatory framework, particularly for online content. Again, this is a very humongous task if you think about it. Like if you are keeping any kind of framework, for example, for your Facebook or WhatsApp and any other platform, let it be, okay. But making some kind of framework for it, it will definitely have some kind of challenge. Very recently, WhatsApp has introduced that you can't forward messages to more than 5 people. Okay, so that is a challenge what many of the people faced, but it is also a good thing. The framework has been put for the benefit of the people. The next one is future of Indian journalism. So this is a very important quote. You will all have to see. It says, in line with global trends, technological advances will allow an unprecedented surge of creativity in Indian news industry. Ignore that part, and now please everyone take note of the second stanza. It says the essence of journalism, however, will remain in the discipline of verification. So I think many of the participants, whoever is there, I think many of you are communication students and many of you are communication professors and other media professionals. So if we are not there to have this discipline of verification, if we are not trying to uh, fight ourselves as an individual, as a responsible individual, rather than a responsible journalist, we are not going to move forward. So I think we all should start with verification of news, whatever is coming to us, whether be it in any social media or whether it, even though it's a recognized media channel is sending a notification, please don't believe it blindly. Okay, fake news, the India story. This is a very interesting session right now. Many of the things are happening, so I have compiled few things, important things, whatever is happening, uh, into few short presentations. Okay, so I hope you all, or like many of you will be in Instagram, I suppose. So even Facebook, okay, and definitely those whoever is here, I'm assuming myself that 100% you all will be in WhatsApp. So what is the hot topic going on in India right now? The hottest topic. So the hottest topic in India, the incident, what happened in Kerala just 2 days before. So why I am mentioning as 2 days? Because it says, if you see, this is a meme on the left hand side. It says pregnant elephant fed pineapple stuffed with crackers in Kerala. Okay, and other things are happening, this and that. And on the right, if you see, there are quite a few verified people and verified news channel, news media outlets, how they are reporting. So first, let's say, what has actually happened? No one or no individual has fed the pineapple to the elephant. First thing, no one has fed it voluntarily. Okay, so but sir, did it not eat pineapple? Yes, it did eat the pineapple, but that pineapple was kept to kill wild boars, which is in the field, which is in the agriculture field. So, sir, are you justifying this and that? No, I'm not there. So unfortunately, we lost an animal, okay, whether be it boar or whether be it an elephant, we lost something. But the way it went on to the people, it's little different. So on the right hand side, if you see, it says one of the Twitter feed says central government has taken very serious note on the killing of elephant in Malappuram, Kerala. But the verified news, if you see, it was not in Malappuram, Kerala, it was in Palakkad. Okay, and people started communalizing this entire scenario. Okay, if you see the bottom part, it says the atrocity of feeding a pregnant elephant with pineapple full of crackers and killing her took place in Malappuram district of India's Kerala state. The district is the only Muslim majority of state with over 70% of Muslim population. So what's happening? So they picked the news and somehow the news spread entirely different, and the scenario was different, the actual situation was different, but the way people started portraying was entirely different. They started communalizing it. They started telling, they started polarizing it. Okay, they started the divisiveness among us. Okay, so even Menaka Gandhi, if you see on the right hand side, which has been reported by ANI, it says, for instance, they throw poison on roads so that 300, 400 birds and dogs die at one time. So this is how fake news actually spreads, and it actually spreads in a very big way. And apart from this, if you see good number of cricketers, celebrities have shared the same thing, that the pregnant elephant was fed pineapple. Okay, but as fact checkers, we come to know it was not fed. It had the pineapple, which was kept for boars. Okay. The next slide, which is again a very interesting slide. Here it says Modi claims on the left hand side, Modi claims 1 crore corona patients treated for free, but India has less than 2 lakhs. Okay, so whole world has 62 lakh as on date. So royal stag effect. Okay, so basically they created an fake template, and then they were spreading the news in a false way. And on the right is a very interesting meme which has been shared in WhatsApp everywhere. Even I got it. Okay, so it says no vegetarian is affected by corona. Corona requires animal fat in body, and it is released by WHO. Okay, see how horrible it is to get some news like this on an everyday basis from multiple sources, multiple common public. Okay, so they ask me, sir, do you really think, or is it true that like if we do not eat non-vegetarian, we will not get corona? No, obviously not. Okay, the next slide again, it's a wonderful slide. It says like what happened over the days. Okay, or 8 somebody sent, 9 somebody sent, 10th. Okay, it keeps on happening, and it has been this particular article has been created by one of our uh, colleagues, Mr. Pratik Sinha. The next one, this one. This is a very interesting slide. I think many of the youngsters can relate to this. So here it says on the left, it says, I am no expert, but if hand sanitizer is made with alcohol, which can kill coronavirus, surely if we stay permanently drunk, the crisis is over. So no more corona will be there in your body. So he's telling keep on drinking, and it's a false claim. Okay, so he might have said that in a very funny way, but like there are some people, actually there are some really strange people who might take it seriously. Okay, on the right. Okay, it's by Peter. Okay, or Peter, however you want to call it. So it says carnivorous is an anagram of coronavirus. Coincidence? We think not. Again, if you see that picture, they have changed that words, and then it misleads. Obviously, oh, okay. So as an individual who am not like much educated, or even though I'm educated, I don't tend to think like that. Okay, so if I eat meat, I will get corona. If I don't eat meat, I will not get corona. So this is a controversial tweet, official page by Peter. Okay, and the next one, which will give a more clear idea about what is happening. If you see on the left, okay, I think many Tamil friends will be there. It says Velur Mavatam Tirupattur townil Jamma Masudi தெருவில் கடந்த 2 நாட்களாக நள்ளிரவு 1 மணிக்கு நடு ரோட்டிலேயே சுமார் 700 நபர்கள் தொழுகையில் ஈடுபட்டு வருகின்றனர். காவல்துறையினர் உயரதிகாரிகள் உத்தரவிற்கு கட்டுப்பட்டு அவர்களுக்கு எந்த தொந்தரவும். So question mark. So whatever they are telling is like what happens in Velur district in Tirupattur town, in one Jamma Masjid, people are praying. But if you, with the help of digital tools, which will be taught by my colleague in the later part, you will know that like it was not in Velur district, it was not in Tirupattur, it was somewhere in Prayagraj in 2018, not even in 2020. So how a picture which was there 2 years ago, which is being used now, and the content which has been manipulated into something differently. And on the right, again, it is a little funny thing, but which isn't really false information. So it says, solution to lots of world problems lie in India, but you can't find them as long as you ridicule our ancient wisdom. Cannabis is a magic plant. Till the mid-80s, it was sold by the government. Because of Rajiv Gandhi and Western pharma companies, it got made bad name. Make cannabis legal. So what will happen? People will tend to think, okay, so if I smoke weed or if I use cannabis oil, I'm going to be cured of corona. No, obviously not. Weed kills. So take a step back and think of what is actually true and what is actually false. So, and how to do that. I will tell you. So don't worry. So this is again a heart wrenching slide. Okay, it says this tweet says, the Islamic Republic is the main culprit for the spread of coronavirus in Iran and other countries. They deliberately spread the virus throughout Iran, help the Iranian people. So this tweet, it is like it was retweeted quite a few times. Okay, but like the way it is again communalizing. Okay, it is because of this certain type of people. It is because of this community of people. Because of them, it is happening. Okay, so fake news will lead to an bigger disruption of something which we can't even imagine in our normal thinking. Okay, and this one is like it's little hilarious, but it says gargle your mouth with salt and turmeric, no more corona will be there. And it was not said by any commoners, it was said by Karnataka Health Minister B. Sriramulu. But again, in the next tweet, he has said that like, no, I did not say that. Okay, it's just a misunderstanding. So it was a misleading content to public. So if my parents or if my brother or my sister or my aunt or my uncle, if they come across, okay, so if I gargle with turmeric and salt, corona will go away. Okay, my mom and my dad, they used to keep on calling me, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen. Okay, it will say rasam cures corona. My mom used to tell me, please add ginger and garlic in all your foods and please add black pepper. Okay, I saw in WhatsApp, this will cure corona. No, it will not cure corona. There is no proof that rasam will cure corona. There is no proof ginger and garlic will cure corona. And the third point, corona beer will not give you corona. Okay, even it was a big thing going out with people's mind that like if you take corona beer, you will get corona. And I have given you few more things here. If you can see, coronavirus has come to Earth from outer space, which is hilarious. If you take a step back and see, okay, people will think, okay, aliens are there, and then aliens brought down coronavirus to us. Okay, and coronavirus could have originated from Latvia. There is no proof for that. Okay, and if you see, NATO spreads the coronavirus in the EU. No, and the film Contagion is a perfect clue that coronavirus is American. So its claims are there everywhere, saying that coronavirus is from there, coronavirus is from here. No, it is not from. It is not from India. It is not from China. It is not from Europe. It is from Mars, Jupiter. Okay, so things keep on surfacing on the social media because people will still keep on believing. And so, in the end, what you are trying to say? So you said like you will tell me what is misinformation and disinformation. You still haven't reached the point. Yes, I'm here. So velocity creates veracity, and that is why I put this slide on the left hand side. It says WhatsApp. A single WhatsApp rumor has killed more than 29 people in India. Okay, and we still keep on forwarding without thinking. And here I have one heart-wrenching picture. Two arrest protest followers after WhatsApp rumor lead to lynching of 7 in Jharkhand. Okay, so if you see, it resulted in the lynching of 7 innocent people. Okay, many were happening. Many mob lynching were happening because of WhatsApp rumors. So I have given a list here, so I don't have to go through all the list, but I can say a couple of good examples. In this is bad examples. One happened in Assam in 2018 June. Two youngsters from Goa who were basically living in Assam, they got killed by some misinformation which was spread in WhatsApp. Okay, very recently, last week, Assam lost 2 more lives because of this mob lynching, and one is because of WhatsApp rumors. This is just an abstract map of where things were happening. We have in Southern Belt, we have a quite good number as well. Okay, so false information leads to what? As I said in the beginning, false information leads to 4 things: polarization. Second thing, it can mislead people on important issues. Third thing, it can harden attitudes and stereotypes about individuals or groups. Okay, why is that? I will tell you in the slide which is coming next. In more extreme cases, it can spark riots and make an incendiary situation very worse. Okay, so first thing first, polarization. So here it says a BJP representative hitting a Christian priest in Bangalore while the service is on. But look at the news there. Church father attacked by Christian members. But the way it has been manipulated to the public, it is entirely different. So it will create an friction between communities. Okay, so this guy, this political party people have come and hit this minority group. So something is happening. So again, communalizing, and because of communalizing, polarization happens, and this is one of the biggest thing false information leads to. And this is another one. It says it can mislead people on important issues. So here it says do not receive 2000 rupees notes. So many of us, we were not receiving 2000 rupees notes. If you remember, like last year, we did not receive at all. Okay, many of us. And if you go to I'm talking for people who are from other states apart from Tamil Nadu. If you go to Tamil Nadu, you try to give them 10 rupees coin in many shops. Still now they don't accept it because there is an thing going on. It is not valid anymore. Even though the government has claimed no, it is valid. People still try it. They don't accept 10 rupees coin. And here, if you see, it can harden attitudes and stereotypes. This is what I was actually talking about. So if you see, I already have a bad ideology about a particular community. I don't like them. As a person, I don't like them. So I see some particular news about that particular community. Okay. And what will I do? I will immediately think, okay, those people are really bad. So this also will harden my attitude. Okay, that those people are bad. Okay, I will not have a very objective thinking. I will have a very subjective thinking, very narrow thinking, saying that okay, all people are like that. They are very bad. The next one, if you see in more extreme cases, it can spark riots and make an incendiary situation worse. So I don't know how many of you seen this picture, which is on the left. It is a screenshot from a movie called Aurat Kilona Nahi. It's a Bhojpuri movie. Okay, it had led a big riot in West Bengal in the year 2018. It's a screenshot of an woman who's being undressed, stating that the Hindu men or Muslim men are trying to undress a lady. So again, it went on to a spark. Okay, why is this happening? Okay, why this is happening in India mainly? First, democratization of the tools has also diluted its value. Trust in media, mainstream media has been eroding. So that's what I was discussing with someone. So which mainstream media I have to trust? Okay, you are telling do not believe anyone, then who I should trust? Which TV I should trust? So as I can't say like you have to trust this TV, I can't say you have to trust this news channel, you have to trust this radio channel. Okay, there are other things you will have to look into it. So you will get that from my colleague. The second thing is cheap data plans. Okay, for 150 rupees right now in India, we have a big company providing us data of 30 GB. Just for 150 rupees, you will get 30 GB internet. Okay, and the third thing, misinformation is thriving in regional languages away from the scrutiny of the English or in the mainstream media. Why is it? So if I share something of my mother tongue is Tamil. So if I share, I can relate more to it. So I will feel like, okay, is this what's happening in Tamil Nadu? So I will tend to have some kind of emotion towards it. So which will be a bad emotion in the end. And the next one, newsrooms are facing multiple challenges. Staffs are being slashed right now. Right now, also it is happening in many places. If you see, many people are out of jobs. Okay, so there is no dedicated team members for uh, controlling or having a fact-checking department in particular. And mainstream also has fallen for misinformation on a number of occasions. Very recently, just 2 days ago, ANI, ADTV, everyone has shared a picture of helicopter fluttering from top, stating that it is happening somewhere in, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in UP, but it did not happen in 2020. It happened in the year 2018. Okay, so quiz time mathematics. I hope you can see the screen very clearly. So here it says, where is the mistake in this picture? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 18. So can anyone see the mistake in this picture? Can anyone say what is the mistake? Is it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 18? So what is the mistake in this picture? So many those who are thinking, those who are assuming the answer will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. No, you are wrong. There are two this in this picture. I will go back one more time. I'll show you where is the mistake in this picture. So there are two this. So what happens? Many of us we fell prey for this because we did not believe or we did not look into the point where we have to look, but we were looking at something else. We were deceived by telling. So I was telling you all to just look there, look there, look there. So many of you looked, but you did not look on the heading. So this is what's happening. So many media houses are trying to show you something, 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 and you will just look at it, but you will not have a wider view of what is actually happening. You will not have a step back, or you will not have a proactive thinking. Okay. Now let's come to types of misinformation, disinformation. So if you see or if you heard me, I would have said, like, I would have used this particular word very frequently. There is no such thing called fake news. Okay. But we as communication students, we as journalists and media educators, fake news is nothing but misinformation and disinformation. So we all know what is information. Information is something from, we are passing from A to B with a channel, sender, decoder, encoder, and receiver. That's it. So what is misinformation, disinformation? So you just imagine a flow chart following through information below that, misinformation and disinformation. And misinformation is information that is false. But the person who is disseminating, he believes that it is true. So as an individual, if I'm spreading or if I'm forwarding a message from WhatsApp, I will think, okay, this might be true. So I'm sharing it with my friends, I'm sharing it with my family. But disinformation is something that it is an information that is false. And the person who is disseminating knows it is false. So it is a deliberate, intentional lie. So this is the most important thing you all will have to learn from today as one of the important takeaways. So do not just tell us fake news. Know what is the difference between misinformation and disinformation. Okay. So that you will be clear. Okay. So that you will be knowing on where the information is standing. So now let's get into the detail. There are 7 types of misinformation and disinformation. Okay, what are the 7 types of misinformation? First, satire or parody. Second, misleading content. Third, imposter content. Fourth, fabricated content. Fifth is false connection. Sixth is false context. And the last one is manipulated content. Okay, so satire or parody. It says no intention to cause harm but has the potential to fool. Okay, we will see the exact pictures of how satire or parody goes as one of the biggest misinformation and disinformation. The second one, misleading content, misleading use of information to frame an issue or a particular individual. It can be anything. Okay, it can be you can target a celebrity stating that okay, this person has did something, and then it can be something misleading. And imposter content like or everywhere. Okay, when genuine sources are being impersonated. So for example, let's say that like somebody takes a picture of myself and then puts that like I'm speaking something against the government. Okay, so that is all, that is an imposter content, or that can be also taken as misleading content. And fabricated content again. A new content is 100% false, designed to deceive and to do harm. Okay, there are many fabricated contents. I will show you an example for this in the coming slides. And the next one is false context. Okay, false connection, not false context. Sorry, false connection when headlines, visuals, or captions don't support the content. So this one where we will see the maximum, we will see this maximum in YouTube channels. So the YouTube channel will say, you know what Salman Khan did to a 9-year-old girl. You know what Shah Rukh Khan did this to a fellow actress. But when you go into the YouTube, when you open the video, it will say Salman Khan has actually helped that 9-year-old girl. So without going to the video, if you see, okay, oh my God, something Salman Khan has did something to the 9-year-old girl, you will feel like, oh my God, something as bad has happened. But when you go in, then you will realize, okay, it is not something bad. He did something good. The same. So there is no relevant relevancy between the topic or the content. The next one is false context, when genuine content is shared with false contextual information. Again, the best example can be YouTube. And the last one is manipulated content, when genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive. So the main agenda behind manipulating something and then deceiving something is manipulated content. Okay, now let's look at the examples so that you will be clarified. So first, satire or parody. This is many of you people will know about this particular website, because of this thing what happened in the month of February, if I'm not wrong. One of our biggest politician from India has quoted from this particular website, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's fakingnews.com. You can check it out. Okay, and basically, if you see that red box here, it will say faking news is a website that has no news content with no reliable sources. We simply fake news to attract your attention. These are the people who put Mahendra sales went down because in Simba, sorry, in Suryavanshi, Akshay Kumar is not coming in Scorpio car. So the sales went down. So people, they come up with something to make fun of it, but people tend to believe that. And this is another best example for satire or parody. One is instead of Times of India, we have Limes of India. Instead of ANI, you know all the logo of ANI. Look at the logo. It says any news instantly. And instead of Times Now, we have Times How. Again, this is the best example for satire account. Sorry, a parody account. Here we have Virat Kohli, and you can find out like Virat Kohli's spelling itself is wrong, and he does not have a blue tick. It is not a verified account. But many people who will look at first time, they will think, okay, Virat Kohli is actually endorsing Puma or Reebok or whatever it is. And this is an best example for imposter content. Okay, here if you see, it's one is BBC, another also is BBC, but here it's given as Indian National Congress, and here it's given as Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, as a common individual, as a normal human being, how will you find out this is fake? You don't need to have any hi-fi or very big technicalities. Okay, just look at the picture for a second. Look at all the fonts of other parties' name and look at the fonts of Indian National Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party. Can you see the colors have been changed, the font have been changed? Okay, so this is how imposter content works. So basically, there was some other party, but they named the parties which are from India. And false context again, this is a very disheartening image. Okay, so they said like what's happening 14th February. Okay, we all know. Okay, many people has said that like it's Pulwama. But if you go and with the help of few tools, if you find out it's not Pulwama, it's somewhere in 2010. It happened in Dantewada district in Chhattisgarh. Okay, massacre of 76 security personnel. So always try to read more into it, look more into it, instead of immediately sharing the pictures, whatever you're getting. And the next one is fabricated content. Here, Rahul Gandhi ji picture is displayed on Burj Khalifa. How will you find that out? Okay. The tool will be mentioned by my colleague. So this is a basic app. It's called Bugo. With the help of app, they said that like they have displayed Sri Rahul Gandhi's picture there. Okay, saying that they displayed, Dubai government has displayed. And here we have manipulated content. It says drunk Kejriwal, but it's not drunk Kejriwal. It is a lookalike of Kejriwal. His name is Mr. R. Kumar Madan or someone. So yeah. Again, best example for manipulated content. This is West Bengal Chief Minister Didi Mamata Banerjee. So she is stacking up cases in her cupboard. Okay, saying that like she's stocking people's money. But when you, with the help of some tools, you will find out that it is not by her. It is in fact owned by a Tamil businessman in Kolkata. Okay, so it is nowhere related to Mamata Banerjee. And the next one, manipulated content is Modi ji is waving a flag of Indian Union Muslim League, which is also being taken by taken as Pakistani flag. He is waving Pakistani flag. Okay, and we have good number of shares for that. If you see, we have more than 1,450 shares. And misleading content. So here, you know, like pay only rupee 1, and then you will give. It will be donated towards the cost of army people. It will be donated to the cost of CRPF, this and that. So each and every one of us will be spending one rupee, and then the government will get a huge number of money, or the army people will get a huge number of money. So it's all basically a scam. So with this slide, I will wrap my thing up. So 8 reasons why misinformation and disinformation is created and shared. These 8 reasons you will all have to be noted. You will all note it down very carefully. First is poor journalism. If you are not a good journalist, this is what will happen. Okay. Second, to parody. Okay. In order to make fun, you will have the attitude of making fun, but it might end up going on something serious. And the third one, to prove or to punk. Okay. To prove that I am right. Okay. That may be the reason. And the fourth, passion. Many people have the passion of creating fake news. Many people have the passion of creating false news. That is also a big trouble for us. And another one is partisanship. Many people like that partisanship among us. So we are this community, we are that community, we are this religion, we are that religion. So you know, from my childhood, I have been known that like this religion is the best, this religion is not the best. So that is one. And the profit. Many people earn good amount of money. Even I've heard like faking news website makes good amount of money. And political influence. Political influence is also a big thing. It influences big political parties as well. The uh, spreading of fake news. The last one is propaganda. We all know quite a bit about propaganda. So, propaganda is again nothing but negative journalism or negative information spreading to people. So, these are the 8 things what you need to be very careful about. So, I hope I made sense in whatever I spoke. Okay. I hope you understood whatever I was speaking. Um, Now I will hand over my session to my colleague Mr. Monji Mochari so that he will help you on how actually should do away with this fake news with the help of some digital tools. To you, Mr. Monji.
Yeah, on behalf of the participants, I thank Jai Khan for his wonderful presentation. Now I welcome Monjib Mochari for his presentation. Yeah, his audio is giving it some trouble. Jai Khan, please check that.
You can speak.
Yeah, unmute his mic.
Yes, sir. Muted, sir.
Both of you are in the same room or a different place?
Yes, sir. Just now, sir. We are in the same room.
Okay. Stay stable in front of the computer and then speak. Mic is not unmuted. Yeah. Welcome, sir. Go ahead.
thing. So one thumb rule that you can think about is don't engage unless you are very sure about that piece of information. Message privately. This is in case if you hello sir, there is a little disruption in the network.
Yeah.
Can you hear sir?
Now suddenly your voice stopped, but now it's okay. Proceed.
Okay, yeah, there was a little disruption, so I stopped in
Okay.
between.
Okay. Fine.
Sir,
Yeah. Start speaking.
wait, so I'm just reconnecting it. Don't engage. The second point is block them. If you think this piece of information should not be in the public domain, then it's absolutely fine to block it. There is no point spreading it further, so that more people will not get confused about it. If you think this piece of information should not be in the public domain, then it's absolutely fine to block. The third point is message privately. Suppose if you have a bunch of information or you need to share it to certain individuals or maybe family members, share it privately. No need to share on the platform like so Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp. So it will be desirable to share it privately, but all it is necessary to be shared. And the fourth one is, of course, sometimes if it involves or if it is really necessary, so it's absolutely necessary to report it to the concerned authority. Take, for example, there are several government ministries, they are dealing with so much of challenges and issues, and one of the challenges dealing with the misinformation. So if you come across, I think it is as it will be a very, very sensible response to share the information to the concerned authority. Uh, the next point is most people are actually confused where to get the information from. The process they will end up sharing certain unwanted information. So the best advice that I would like to give to my students as well as those who are participating in my in this webinar, share information from some authentic sources. I'll come back to this point later. So these are some of the points that we need to keep in mind when we are exposed to COVID-19 misinformation. Okay, there are other guidelines or maybe that we can keep in mind as a person dealing with information industry or particularly those who are engaged in healthcare sector or healthcare, those who are health professionals. So when you are exposed to health related issues, this is not specific to COVID-19. There are certain things we need to keep in mind. This includes like learn the basics of the disease, and most of the times we are not even aware of what is the disease all about. In fact, even now many people are not even serious about, and as well as not sure about how the virus actually attack, what is the form of the virus, and how does it spread. So there is lack of awareness. So it is the responsibility of those who are engaged in the information industry to, first of all, they should be aware of the certain informations that need to know. Second one is be wary of claims about epidemic source. And this is what we get to hear, that it came from animal, it came from somewhere else, or it spread. It's some say it's a bioweapon. There is so much of confusion. There is a lack of evidence to suggest from where the actually virus is coming from. But there is only the source of the origins. But what happens later is more dangerous. The third point is verify images and videos related to the epidemic. And of course, we need to verify. I'll tell you later what other tools that can be possibly be used for online or video verifications or photo verifications. And the fourth number is double check like the number of cases, their toll, fatality, or overall the statistics related to COVID-19 or any kind of disease that can be. The point number five is be aware of attempts to downplay or amplify the threat of the disease. See, if I can tell you one very clear example of what is really happening in Guwahati city today. Since the number of people, the casualty, I mean to say the number of dead is very, very. Hello, so I'm getting again another disruption. Hello, hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear? Hello,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
I network disruption.
No problem. You go ahead. We hear.
Actually, I'm getting back my voice, so that's one
No, we hear
issue
you.
I'm having right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I also get information from the chat box. Everybody is here listening.
okay. I'll just finish this slide, then I'll move to another system. It will take like less than 30 seconds, sir.
Okay.
The point number five, what I basically want to say is like people. What's really happening? So just give me like 10 to 15 seconds. I'll switch over my system because I'm getting back my voice again and again.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we will continue.
Okay, sir. Just give me like
Yeah.
30.
The presenter is just switching over to another computer. Some technical problem is there. In the meantime, if you have a question, you can type in the chat box. This is a very, very important topic in today's context, where we get infested with a lot of fake news, unreliable news, and so on. Anjali can stop your video. All of us are seeing that you are munching, drinking something, and so on. Keep your video stopped.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the disruptions. And
No problem.
what I'm basically trying to drag your attention to is the points that you need to keep in mind when you are dealing with health-related information, so health disinformation. The point number 5 that I wanted to stress was like since the number of casualty, be aware of attempts to downplay or amplify the threat of the disease. I'll just give you one particular phenomena that is being seen right now in Guwahati and across the state. Although the casualty across the country is growing every day, but particularly in Assam, since the casualty COVID virus is very, very less. So people are not actually taking it very, very seriously. They simply ignore the threat that, oh, there are no casualties, only one or two. That's what people say. So people sometimes downplay the threat of the information or the disease itself. Point number 6 is don't share prevention or treatment methods without consulting official sources. It is where we see the problem. People are so much crazy over the medicine or the injection that is needed to create a COVID virus. So people keep on sharing, oh, this medicine is invented in this different country or in this country. And most of the times it is the foreign medicine that is being shared on social media. So people tend to believe what is coming from across the border. That's what we have seen over the period of time since the emergence of COVID-19. And point number 7 is look for what's still unknown. So sometimes we need to be a little more curious in knowing certain information which may not be available in the public domain. So we have to make certain effort to know certain symptoms, or maybe if it is related to COVID, definitely we know nothing much about it. We have very less information about COVID-19. So sometimes we need to be a little critical, as well as we need to be very, very curious about digging out certain information that may be useful. Okay, this is what I would like to summarize when you are exposed to certain information. First of all, what you should be doing when you are exposed to certain sets of disinformation. First of all, check the sources of the information, from where it is coming from. Try to question it. Is the source very, very authentic or genuine, or it is really coming from very, very authentic sources like the government departments or the World Health Organizations? And also look for the history. Does this source have an agenda, or from where it is coming? When was the content first published? So just try to look for the timestamp. And sometimes there are different websites which are fly-by-nights. They appear and disappear the next day. So we also need to look at the chronology of the publisher or where the information actually coming from. Of course, sometimes we cannot even identify or verify or locate the sources of the information. And also, you also need to look for evidences, if there are any evidence. And of course, most of the times fake news designed in such way to draw people's attentions. And when the content is so much embedded with emotional elements, make sure you verify those informations. Then sometimes, of course, we need to use pictures to tell a story. Of course, that's very, very true. But sometimes we are so exposed to pictures and we tend to believe it. Immediately when we see the picture, and sometimes, I think last 1 month back, we have seen a testing kit, a COVID testing kit has been presented as it's the final injection that a patient needs to have. It was just a picture. It was nothing about the injection. It was just a testing kit, COVID testing kit, and people started to share it and multiplying number of times, and that's how people are actually started to believe that, oh, there are already injections for COVID-19. So in short, this principle or this formula is called SHIFT, SHEEP. So we need to keep in mind when we are exposed to certain sets of informations. How to avoid misinformation about COVID? The first principle is consume information from reliable sources. Be wary of claims about cures and the origin of the virus. And sometimes you cannot verify where the virus actually comes from. If a claim is made regarding the virus, go down to the source. Quick Google search at least and spend some time making sure that you are reading is very, very accurate. If a story sounds fake, don't click it or engage with it. These are simple principles that you need to give in as an individual or as a citizen or somebody who is engaged in trying to debunk fake news. And where to get authentic sources of information. And first of all, there is a scarcity of information that we need to understand. Of course, there is also so much of information. So we are dealing with two phenomena. One is we are exposed to so much of information. At the same time, we are not much having access to some credible and reliable sources of information. So when it comes to COVID-19 or any kind of disease, there are a couple of websites and organizations that we need to keep in mind. And probably these are the best platform from where actually we can think of consuming or sharing informations. One is called Center for Disease Control. You can see the web link there. Just go through and they'll give you some very, very authentic information. And these are verified informations. And of course, the biggest source of information right now is World Health Organizations. Every day you can have the latest statistics, what's really happening around the world related to COVID-19 or what kind of mechanism or the responses that the global community is taking on COVID-19. So you can have all kinds of information related to COVID-19. Then the third most authentic source would be like looking, consuming contents or the having access to a very authentic source, government sources of information. And my government of in India is very doing wonderful job. It's giving all the time timely information related to COVID-19 and also the number of updates you get on daily basis. So these are some of the best platform where you can actually get informations. And there are other alternatives. And when it comes to fake news, and these alternatives will be very, very useful. In India, we have seen a rise in fact-checking websites. They are doing wonderful job, and some of them are also partner of this program. And the first one is All News. This is an online platform. I think some of you are already aware of what is All News. So they basically publish verified news. The second is Boom Life. Factly is also doing same work. Health Analytics is one which is a partner organization of data leads. And Fact Crescendo publishes verified news in 9 languages, including Sri Lankan as well as Myanmarese. So all these alternative sources of information will give you some of the verified news. Every day they update certain sets of information, sometimes which are we also believe as true information or genuine information, but when you go to these platforms, you say, oh, these are fake information. That's what you normally find. And the last one that I would like to stress on, if you are dealing with numbers, definitely this dashboard, COVID dashboard, it's called Aldometer. I think you are already aware of. It will give you latest updates about the number of casualties in different countries around the world. So these are some of the very, very useful platform where you can actually get updated information on COVID-19. And how to deal with or what should be our strategies for countering medical misinformation. And of course, there cannot be one solution to the problem. So it will demand integration of number of efforts and involvement of different stakeholders. The first one is how to contain medical disinformation. And of course, this will require active petitions, medical journals, media regulators, as well as number of other interrelated agencies or authorities. So the goal is to identify the person who is spreading misinformation. The second one is a general immunity through science literacy. And of course, the role of educators will come into play here. Educators and trainers need to be a little more active when it comes to medical literacy. The idea is to ensure that people understand how and why the scientific method works, and also to impart some critical thinking tools or like enhancing the capacity of the individuals or the persons to think critically. The next one is health specific in inoculation and education. It is where the health professionals, public health agencies, and communication experts need to be more and more active.
Yeah.
The objective is to promote general understanding of medical science and communicate about common misconceptions. And today we know we are having more misconceptions about COVID. Prepare people to navigate a world of truthiness and pseudoscience. Absolutely, we have so many science experts or maybe like pseudoscience who keep telling us, oh, you consume this and that to get rid of COVID-19. And the last one is the final effort for the journalists and healthcare professionals, how to debunk myths and discredit purveyors. It is where the journalists, media outlets, and health professionals, researchers, and medical journals need to be involved. That is to directly challenge the misinformation. Okay, now after all this rough idea about how to go about doing certain things, now I would like to stress on some of the digital tools that can be used for fact checking or data verification. These are essential when you are dealing with online data. And of course, offline verification cannot be replacement of online verification. At the same time, online verification is not a replacement of physical verification. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, these are some very basic tools as well as very important tool. If you are engaged in news industry or working as a journalist, sometimes these tools will be very important for you. And with these tools, in fact, most of the fact checkers are also using these tools very professionally. The first tool that you can write down if you are willing to, or if you want us to share certain slides, definitely we'll do that. The Google reverse image search is one very important tool for photo verification. When you normally browse Google, you find Google for Google browser, you can type and search for informations. But Google has a different window that is called Google Images, where you can upload those images which you think is a fake and look for that information. If the picture is there, definitely you'll find it, or sometimes you'll find some similar images. So it may not be same as you upload on the Google image, but you'll find certain clue to that kind of informations or pictures being shared on social media, which are faked into the fake or not genuine. So Google reverse image search is very important tool that you can think of. You can simply type on Google.images. You can upload any pictures and you can try to verify. And the second option is second platform, which is very good when you are looking for the identity or similarity of the informations or images. You can simply take a photograph of that particular piece of photo or informations and upload it on Google Lens. It will automatically display a range of informations related to that particular information. So this is one very important tool. Of course, sometimes you need to keep this point in mind that certain informations cannot be verified and all informations cannot be verified. But to the extent we can try it out. Of course, most of the times it is the old videos, old pictures that is keep on circulating. The third powerful, very powerful search engine is called Yandex. I think all of you are really aware about this search engine. It is a Russian search engine, and of course, you can also look out for more images on Yandex. In fact, sometimes you find more interesting picture on Yandex than Google. Of course, I'm not downplaying Google, but at the same time, you have to use the idea is to use multiple platforms to verify information, particularly Google reverse image search, Google Lens, Yandex. These are basically used for photo verification. The next one is it's called Reverse Eye. It's called RefEye. This is only a plugin. Once if you install this plugin, it will appear on the right top of your browser. And when you install, suppose you type a picture on Google, take for example, little girl having difficulty in breathing, which was treated as Indian girl affected by COVID. Now, if you search that image and you find on Google, now when you have installed all this RefEye, TeenEye, you will automatically look out for, or you can actually go back to the timestamp or go back to the previous picture. You can do some reverse image search. So these are plugins that you can install. You just need to, after installing, you just need to click right on the pictures and it will give you options where to search. You want to search in Google reverse image search, or you want to search in Yandex, or you want to search in RefEye or T9. These are options for photo verifications. And of course, it is supposed to be very practical training. But since we are having a difficulty in like physical contact with the participants, so you can try it out when you go back or when you after these sessions, you can definitely look around in the YouTube and how to you make use of these important tools. The next tool that you can think of using is Jeffrey's image metadata viewer. And if you are a photographer, definitely sometimes you embed certain information with the photographs, and sometimes we do it unintentionally, or sometimes when we switch on your GPS, sometimes your location is captured along with the photograph. So Jeffrey's Exim metadata is an online tool that will help you extract all the informations if it is embedded along with the photograph. So all the embedded data of the photograph can be extracted. But it's a very simple tool, but when you are a professional photographer, definitely sometimes you'll hide those informations. But most of the times, if you may find certain clues, or sometimes people may forget to remove those metadata. So it is sometimes useful, sometimes may not be useful. But the idea is you are using this tool to find some possible clues, how to authenticate the informations or how to verify it, how to locate information. So these are some of the important tools used for photo verification. The next one is purely focused on first two is purely for useful for video verification. And if you are a very professional videographer, definitely you don't need certain tools. But for journalists who may not have sophisticated software or who may not have all the necessity to verify certain informations, these tools can actually be useful. It is called InVid Video Debunker. It is again an add-on. Once you install this, you can actually convert entire your video into still frames, then do one by one reverse image search. Of course, it is very, very time consuming, but even then as a journalist or somebody who is interested in facts or truthfulness of the information, definitely we need to make little investment in trying to debunk that information. So you can think of installing on your system. It will appear on the right top of your search engine. So this will only help you in converting your video into still frame, as well as give you some extracted informations which are embedded with the video. So this will give you some possible informations, and sometimes like the copyright information, so sometimes who the producer is, so sometimes you get all these possible clues to verify certain informations. The second one is, again, it's almost the same as in-bit video debunker. It will directly not tell you that this is a fake information, but it will give you data that may be essential or maybe crucial in verifying certain information. It is called Amnesty International YouTube Data Viewer. Again, it's like your video will be converted. It's available online. You can simply browse after the session. It will again convert your photo into a still frame, as well as extract all the embedded data of the video. And the third one is basically most of the times it is Facebook and Twitter that is supposed to be spreading. Of course, I'm not saying that they're doing it, but most of the times you normally find this information on this platform. So Tweetweaver is one very, very important tool to identify or narrow down the person who may be spreading wrong information. So it will basically give you, if you browse on your system, you'll definitely find what kind of information to look for. Take, for example, who are the friends of that person who spread that information, who are his friend circle. And there are many other types of information you can extract with this tool that is called Tweet Beaver. And the next one is All My Tweets. All My Tweets is very, very good when you want to dig out all the informations, all the tweets of a person. Take, for example, I want to go back to Narendra Modi's tweets of 2001. Definitely, I can use this tool. I simply need to type Narendra Modi's login ID and just search it. All the information, all the tweets made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi will definitely appear on your screen. So it's a very, very powerful tool for looking out for certain tweets that may be essential in establishing the authenticity of the information. You can do for any individuals. You can dig out my informations, my tweets, or you can dig out all your friends' tweets. So this will also be useful in, as a journalist, sometimes these kind of tweets are very, very important. So this also will help you in archiving all your tweets. And of course, everybody knows what is advanced tweet search. And sometimes we need to use it. And of course, you can definitely think of using when you are exposed to or when you are not convinced with certain sets of information. And the next one is web archive. Web archive is essential in tracing down certain websites or web archive. What normally it does is it captures the websites and preserve it for future references. It does in a periodic basis. Take for example, 3 or 4 times in a day, or maybe 10 times in a day. So when certain information is coming from certain websites, try to make use of web archive. If you're not convinced that this is a very genuine website, go to web archive, look for the particular page. Just you need to put a URL of that particular website, and all the information, if it is captured online, definitely it will appear. It will give you a timeline of when was the timeline of that particular websites, when was it captured, and what in the process, all the information that is being captured will be probably available. So this will help you in establishing the authenticity of the website, as well as looking out for some all information published in that particular website. And of course, the last who.is a very, very basic. Everybody knows if you want to register your domains, and who.is one on the platform. And what normally it does is, suppose it does the registration. And of course, for a journalist, it's not the registration that's important, but sometimes some information may come from different websites. So who.is will probably give you who is the owner, the name of the company, some basic information about that particular company. So who.dot can be very, very useful when you are dealing with big websites. Same with the web archive. So this can be useful for establishing the authenticity of the websites. And sometimes we don't know. Sometimes these websites are fly-by-nights, and most of the times fake news comes sometimes to make profit or to promote certain ideas or certain pages or information. So they disappear. So in that case, it may not be traceable sometimes. I'm almost coming down, closing my presentations, but before I close, I just would like you to keep this point in mind. First of all, we need to spread truth, only then we can counter fake news or disinformation, and also need to keep in mind, not all informations can be verified. There are so much of information, and sometimes you may not have time and resources to verify all this information. So it is absolutely necessary to keep in mind what information you're trying to verify. Will it be possible, or how much time and resources will it take? Definitely, it will demand lots of hard work, not just like doing it as a part-time. So if you're a full-time journalist, definitely you also need to verify sometimes certain information which are of crucial importance. And online information verification is not a replacement of physical verification of information. Definitely, sometimes information need to be verified physically. And cooperate and collaborate with your stakeholders. Now, when it comes to help disinformation or misinformation or fake information or fake news, definitely we need to engage different stakeholders. As a journalist or as a teacher of media, my knowledge on the subject may be very related when it comes to health. Definitely I need expert on the subject, I need doctors, I need researchers, I need healthcare professionals, I need medical professionals. So it is not just one man's job, but we need to integrate different agencies and stakeholders when you are trying to verify fake information. Take for example, the best thing would be when you are exposed to medicine that is claimed as the cure, final cure to COVID-19, definitely you can take advice from your stakeholders who may be like healthcare professional, who may be doctors, who may be researcher. So definitely we need to take their confidence into verification of data or information. So this is my little observations from today's presentation. So fact checking is not a very simple task. Sometimes it is very easy to verify, and sometimes it's very difficult. And these tools, these are not very exhaustive tools, but there are other tools that can be used. But normally for photo and video, and all of course, Twitter, these tools are very useful. And of course, every platform like Facebook has its own search options, but sometimes we also need to go beyond that conventional methods. Sometimes we need to network with people who are, take for example, some fake photo is being circulated claiming that this photo is from Guwahati, and if you're sitting in Mumbai or Chennai and thinking that, or if you have a network in Guwahati, definitely you need to just give a call and maybe to find out, hey, what is this? Is this information true that is coming from Guwahati? So sometimes we also need physical or networking skills to dig out certain informations. So that's all I have for today, and definitely we'll take a question answers if I think there will be many questions or like clarifications that may be needed. Thank you so much. A wonderful time that you've given to us.
Thank you, sir. Now we'll go for interactive session. Participants, you can unmute your mic and ask question, or we will read out the question from the chat box. Both the presenters can answer the question. Arun Kumar asked us one question. Jagis Khan?
Yes, sir.
When American President Trump tweets were removed, reported, and spreading fake or spam may take action in Twitter, but not the same content in Facebook.
Yeah.
Why Facebook has different yardstick, Twitter has different yardstick to remove the fake news?
Okay, so it is a very good question and very apt question indeed. This question has been raised to us in many of our previous training sessions as well. So basically, what happens is like they have certain norms. Twitter has certain norms, and Facebook has a different set of norms. And even though Instagram is owned by Facebook, Instagram has a different set of norms. So what happens is like when something is being found offensive on Twitter, the Twitterati community will report it and then it will be removed. But same will not be going for Facebook because of the rules and regulation or because of the terms and condition what they give in the beginning of when you create an account. So that is a problem we really face. That is the framework which I was talking about in the earlier slides, if you remember. So it is actually a very confusing deal for many of us because one they remove, one they don't remove, and the same thing happened when they were showing a picture of showing some picture of particular page in Instagram and in Twitter it was shown but not in Facebook. So it was like the vice versa of this situation, whatever it's being asked. So it has to be reworked. The framework has to be reworked by those organizations.
Yeah. Deba Mariam has asked one question.
Yeah.
These days, big tech companies like Twitter and Facebook is in the news over the debate whether they are the arbiters of truth, as Twitter has tried to do some fact check for a series of tweets by US President Donald Trump. And Facebook bowed out the same, stating that it was only a platform for engagement of people, news and stuff. Do you think that these big tech companies, technology companies, needs to be held accountable for what they stream?
Sir, to answer this in a very simple way or to answer this in one single word, yes, they will have to be held accountable, but unfortunately, situation, sir.
Because they are big bosses.
Yeah, I was just rightly mentioning in all the countries we have this freedom of speech and expression.
Okay.
So everyone can't restrict anything because like see it seems that like when a police made a statement about Trump, he was not thrown out of his job, but like here in India when one policeman has stated in court against one of the biggest politicians, like he was thrown out of the job. So yeah, so freedom of speech is a big thing back there, and That's why, sir.
Okay. There is another question. Can you give suggestion to people of how they could find out fake or fact news? People having technology can do it, but how with people don't have this technology?
Okay.
They just believe the fake news as it is coming.
Yeah. Sir, for example, sir, I will say something and Manjeeb also can say
Yeah,
which.
Mojip also can answer it.
For example, for my family, my mom and dad, okay, I used to tell my dad like, don't he has a tendency or he has the habit of forwarding it to his friends and our relatives, and so basically I was like trying to have a rational conversation with him, but it did not end good. So I had to yell at him. So what happens is like it is really hard to make them understand, but I think somewhere they will have to refrain from themselves. Like if a fake news is coming to you, or if a news is coming to you, you don't know if it's fake or good. So you just have to read it and don't take it further. Please, please.
Okay, that's very common questions that we normally get when you go for training. How do we ensure that common people know this piece of information is fake or genuine? Yeah, of course, one answer that I would like to give to this one is, of course, there cannot be any ready-made solution to identify whether that piece of information is genuine or not. So one little advice that I would like to give to people who are exposed to sets of misinformation is to try to ask more questions, maybe critical questions, and if you have the technology, you can definitely verify to a certain extent. But as an individual who may not be tech savvy or who may not have the required technological knowledge, so I should be more concerned about that piece of information. Raise some questions. Is that true? Is that even genuine? Or in journalism, it's always the 5W. 5W and 1H, that's always come. That is always taken as the cardinal principle of the profession. So, as individuals, of course, we need to ask more questions related to 5W and 1H. But the one genuine problem in this country is we have so much so much progress in digital infrastructure. Like after the geo, after geo came into existence, today what we have seen, people consume more data than dal. So there is one genuine problem that we are dealing with in this country because our digital literacy or media literacy has actually not taken up as supposed to be. So one problem is that media literacy needs to be part and partial of the education system because we are dealing with a huge number of populations where the literacy rate is very less in certain pockets, and sometimes even the literate people are doing so. We also need a very systematic media literacy program for this country. It's not only about media, it's about the information literacy, it's about the literacy related to health, and there are so many aspects to it. So I think that's where the question is, again, coming back to the basics, ask more questions, start talking about it, and someone will probably be responsible or someone will be able to help you out.
Thank you, sir. There is one question. Why everyone is focusing on the pregnant elephant news, not with the Safura Sargar, especially in South India? Jaikis Khan, you want to answer?
This is a good question. So why they are focusing in South India? That is the only thing, or why?
Yeah, there are so many other things.
Yeah, see, why it is being circulated mainly in South India? It is a good question. So, if you are a communication student or if you are from the communication background, you will very well know that like we people tend to take a news which is geographically close to us. First thing, the proximity defines a news. So it happens something close to our state, right? So they are our brothers, and we feel them like brothers, and so what happens is like something which is happened like very close to us. So you feel that like okay, something has happened. So that is why many people, instead of talking the main things which is going on, they took this one as the main thing and it's going on. So that's the simple answer what I can give.
Okay. There is another question from Kamala.
Yeah.
How does the media fabricate fake news? Do
Okay.
they?
Majid, would you like to?
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. And of course, and sometimes we are partly responsible for spreading fake news unknowingly. I do acknowledge that fact that it does happen to sometimes to media person as well. So the fabrication comes in different contexts. The first of all, the content may be like contextualized, and sometimes the context may be very, very different. So in the process of fabrication of content, there is a whole question of repurposing of the contents. So what is my objective of sharing this particular piece of information? So based on that objective, definitely I will try to reconstruct the narrative of that piece of information. So the content of the contents will be redesigned according to serve my personal interests, or it may be sometimes your corporate interests or different reasons. I think that's one genuine problem with media person is like recontextualizing the contents and also repurposing the contents.
Okay. There is another question. What is the initiative taken by the mainstream media and the government in terms of fighting fake news?
Okay, for mainstream media, what is happening in India right now is like each and every media, they themselves voluntarily started coming out, and then they started appointing people in the name of fact checkers. Each and every newspaper, like if you see the top newspapers, that's what I'm talking about. Even in if it's like in this locality, even if it's in Assam, we have G plus or somewhere. We have one fact checkers per news channels in mainstream media. And when it comes to government is actually trying to be more strict. If you see the cases, what's happening in Tamil Nadu and what's happening in Assam, if you see, very recently many people have been arrested because of they were spreading fake news without the intention that without them knowing it is a fake news. So the police is very strict nowadays. The cybercrime is very strict nowadays. They have mocked a tweet of one of the health ministers from Assam, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. So someone mocked the tweet and then it was shared, and then the 8 people who were the mastermind behind it, everyone was arrested. So government is like trying to be more stricter towards this fake news policy.
Yeah.
Are really aware of the Press Information Bureau. They have actually started.
There is some disturbance. Once again, somebody has.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
the Press Information Bureau has actually started a separate dedicated desk to look into the issue of fake news and disinformation. Even in Assam, you can see Press and PIB is actually doing a wonderful job right now. And Assam Police actually has a separate desk for all these fake news related issues. So it's slowly actually government is also taking this issue very seriously. But what is good news for us is that press information is actually coming into the picture.
Okay. So there is one more question from Rashmi Devari. My question is, I heard that the country like Taiwan has overcome COVID-19. New Zealand is also coping well. But why I am hearing in the news that India has to live with Corona? Is this fake news or true?
Yeah. So, sir, it is not fake news or something. The thing has been going on. New Zealand they have restricted the cases, and even Taiwan has restricted cases, but not much. But the thing is, some media agency found out that like in New Zealand scenario, okay, people are not like very clustered like us. Okay, they have an like distance. No, the social distancing is already there before the social distancing concept came in. So that is one of the main reasons, and they also have to live with corona. Like if that's the case, like not only India has to live with corona, not only India is the country which is going to live with corona. I think we all, if that is the case, if there are no medicines like for dengue and malaria and for many other big diseases, we don't still have medicines, right? So I don't think if there is no medicine being found, I think it will be one of those issues like where all the countries will be living with the disease.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we will have to fight. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. If the lockdown continues, the hunger deaths will be more than Corona deaths in some parts of the country. Yeah. Yeah. Is there any other question? There are, I see 90 participants still alive online. They are in the Google Meet. Please unmute your
Well,
mic. Ask. Yeah. Who is asking?
well, yeah, I'm Revati speaking. Just I have
Yeah.
one question to both of them.
Yeah, please go ahead. Ma'am, I don't hear your voice. What happened?
I think she left the meeting, sir.
Okay.
So to all the participants, we also request we have a feedback form. Okay, apart from sir's feedback form, if you can also kindly fill in our feedback form, that will be helpful.
Yeah, kindly post in the chat box.
Yeah.
I have posted one feedback form for the whole entire session.
Yeah.
Yeah, just paste it.
Go to my slide.
Chat box.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
I request the participants unmute your mic and please ask question. Both of them are
Hello,
ready
sir.
to answer. Yeah.
This is Deepa from Kerala.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question about the future of uh, teachings with the upcoming generation. I mean, the students who are still in schools, about the role and relevance of fact checking and checking for whether the news they come across on their daily life is fake or a fact based one. Don't you think that these kind of training programs should be made a part of the school curriculum itself, that is fifth standard onwards?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm really happy you asked this question. And I'm also happy to share this piece of information to all the participants. Like many of you guys have left, many of you are still here. Google News Initiative and Data Leads uh, now they are trying to create a media literacy program only focused on school level, sir. And ma'am, Deepa ma'am, I think it will soon come to all the states, and especially it will not be only in metro cities. The main focus, it will be in the other districts of the states. It will not be in the metros alone. So media literacy program for focusing on these issues, especially focused on school children, it will be happening very soon, ma'am. So yeah, we are waiting for that also. So yeah.
Deva, you are satisfied?
Father,
Yes, thank you for the
Yeah,
response.
thank you.
Father, I came again. Laptop, some problem is there.
Oh,
Sir,
okay.
can I
Bear with
ask?
me.
Yeah. Sir, Jaikishan sir,
Yes,
this is regarding a fake news. Actually, we are able to access what is fake news in the internet because we own smartphone and laptops with us. And what about the majority who own and rely on television news? Sometimes even media convey wrongly. What is your opinion about it, sir? The biased news, regarding the biased news,
yeah.
the majority of the people, illiterate people.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion, sir, about it?
Ma'am, if for example,
Jaikis Khan, your audio is not, audio some problem.
hello.
Yeah, now okay.
So basically, what we is if you see the they tend to watch only channel, right?
No audio, sir. Father, I'm not
Yeah.
getting it.
Not getting.
Yeah, some wind is blowing. Is it coming from Revati's audio?
Sir, we don't have any.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
hearing.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Jaikis Khan, yeah.
So if you see the public who are surviving in the villages, okay, the majority of the people, they tend to watch news, okay, focusing on only one news channel. Okay, if you see some people, they will like that particular channel and then they will stick to that particular channel. Like even though if you say that no, watch this channel, they will not listen to you. Because from a very young age or very for the past 10 years, 15 years, they'll be watching that one particular channel. So now as an illiterate, now as an person who's not into fake news or fact checking, now what you have to do or what you can do is cross verify whatever it's there. So if you watch one TV channel, please watch the other TV channels. Check if they are reporting the same thing. Okay, not only check the other channel, check multiple channels. Okay, that I think that will be one good way to go about it. I think even radio can be one good mode for that.
Okay, there is some question
Thank you.
from Dr. Wells. Um, I want to ask if it is really possible for the government to find out the person who initiates the fake news in the vast podium like WhatsApp um, um, and other info on WhatsApp goes around so swiftly across the globe.
Yes, the government actually can find, okay, who's actually initiating the conversation, who's actually spreading the news in WhatsApp. Okay, now technicalities are growing stronger, so now it is slowly coming up. But again, sometimes it is also a problem. So someone will be really tech savvy. Like I'm a person like who's not so tech savvy, but like I'm okay. So but if you see someone who actually can say with things.
இது இப்படி கட் பண்ணா போயிடும் கட் பண்ண
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So for them, it will be nothing. So the news can be manipulated from anywhere, and then it can be sent. Sometime it can be found, sometime it can't be found.
Monjeev sir, yeah, as an academician, what do you suggest to the government whether we can frame some ethical laws, digital laws to fight this fake news? Do you have any suggestion?
If you have observed what has happened in Singapore,
Yeah.
they have come up with a very specific law to deal with fake news, and of course, to
Okay.
that, giving some quantum of punishment, which may not be desirable in our country because we are a different nation.
Yeah.
So, alongside media literacy program, I think it will be good to have certain kind of self-regulation is of course necessary, but
Yeah.
when we say or propose to the government to have certain control over certain informations, particularly in the context of fake news, again, there are also agencies who challenge it, again, coming back to article freedom of speech. So there is a little difficulty in balancing the act actually.
Yeah.
But I think it may not be very necessary to have a very strict laws, but if government gives importance to media literacy, I think this should be a long-term engagement for promoting media literacy as well as dealing with misinformation and disinformation. So government has to balance between media literacy program and the regulations to the extent they can actually think of.
Yeah. But more and more, as you said, media literacy is one thing. That is people's initiative and so on. But apart from the responsibility, media literacy, the government also has a responsibility to enact cyber laws.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are no very strict and stringent cyber laws enacted, both in the state government as well as in the central government. And more people are becoming more into digital media. And here after the lockdown, many are going into the digital platforms, even to watch films, share information, send messages, and so on. So, government also should come with a proper cyber laws to find out the culprits and give sanctions. This is what I feel based on your presentation, both of your presentation.
I think that's absolutely necessary as well.
Yeah. We cannot be so very lethargic in this area because most of the people are. You look at the people. Everybody has smartphones. Smartphone is also almost equivalent to a computer. Anything might be posted. Anything might be circulated. There is no question of privacy in this context. That's why I am insisting on the cyber laws. Yeah. Any other question from the participants? Still, I see 55 people are in the discussion. I see many research scholars from all over the country. If there are no questions, we will try to wind up. Speakers are there waiting for answers. Any question? Jake Iskan, do you see any question in the chat box?
Sir, yes, sir. I am seeing. Is it right for an individual to post a message voicing out for his or her opinion on a platform WhatsApp, even if it's contradictory to the government and the opinion of lawmakers? Okay, Dr. Bless, I can answer like it's a very good question. So, see, you can ask, you can do whatever it feels like, but unfortunately, somewhere we are living in a place, okay, where sometimes, that's what I personally feel. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel the country what we are living in, we are not so for the freedom of speech and expression. So you can make an opinion. See, for example, I am also very scared. If I want to speak about a political party, I should not be naming it out. If I want to say something about a political personality, I should not be naming it out. So because it might be again coming back to me stating that you have made a false statement against this person. So I will be put in jail for that. So if you have seen my presentation or Manju's presentation, we will not be taking any individuals. If you see, because this is a recorded event and this will be there forever till we die. So we will be put in I don't know, jail or something. It is up to you. If you are like really okay, I'm gonna say my opinion, whatever it is, I'm gonna say please go ahead, but like please be careful also at the same time. Please put it in a way that like it's not offensive.
I think what we can do is like to engage in constructive criticism. I think it does no harm to anybody. So I think there is a space for constructive criticism, I say.
Yeah.
Okay. So shall we close it? I'll say final words of thanks, and then we will try to enter. Yeah. So Jaikis Khan and Monjiv, sir, very informative session and very enlightening. Most of the people, participants have said in the chat box, very informative, amazing, a lot of useful information we got about the fake news and how to tackle disinformation, misinformation. And also you gave a clear-cut definition of what it is.
Yeah.
It will definitely create ripples and good reflections among the academia.
Yes.
That's what I foresee. We will continue to collaborate with your Don Bosco University. Welcome to Loyola College, Chennai.
Thank
Anytime.
you. Again, ask the participants to kindly fill back the feed-in form
Yeah.
chat box. And secondly, I would like to thank Father, because Father, I am so happy to be here, because unfortunately I could not able to get inside Loyola in 2006.
Okay.
So I am so happy. My father was so proud of myself, and I have to dedicate this entire event to you. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah.
So it's a really happy moment for me. Thank you.
If it is going to be a new normal, we will have more sessions like webinars online. Yes. Yeah, in the future also. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Father.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.